We're here at Sun and Fun, and we're continuing to make the rounds of light aircraft that are doing surprisingly well. We keep going from manufacturer to manufacturer. These are people that are making Part 103 and other very light aircraft, all saying they're selling some stuff. I'm Dan Johnson. I'm talking to Brian Melbourne, and you've got some sales here.
Yeah, we've had 3
Kolb
sales
company.
at the show. It's going to be a good year, a lot better than last year, picking up.
All right.
Just the way we need it to do.
That's great. Well, we're always pleased to hear that about sales, not only because it's good for you, but it means there's 3 people going to have a big old smile on their face.
That's exactly right.
Coming down the road, and more to follow, we hope. So we're standing in front of a rather storied aircraft. Well, all the Kolb aircraft are storied aircraft, but this one's the FireStar. However,
right.
It looks a lot like the FireFly,
Yeah,
which
well,
is your genuine 103 aircraft.
Correct.
And that one's got a little smaller wheels and a few other things that make it different.
That's right.
But you've got, speaking of wheels, you've got some other ideas for us. Tell us what you got in mind. What you've been working on.
The FireFly, of course, has always been a tail dragger as long as it's been around. All these years, you hear, you know, why don't you make a tricycle gear version of this airplane so that we can fly it a little easier? I think it's pretty easy to start with.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. But you know, I understand people that grow up in Cessnas and Pipers
Right,
and whatnot.
exactly.
It's all nose wheel. They grow up with a fear of tail dragger.
That's right.
Even if they shouldn't. So
They shouldn't.
You know, you can't swim upstream unless you're a salmon, I guess.
That's right.
So you're just going to go ahead and address the need.
We are. Yeah, we've been working around the shop. We've got the prototype built for the FireFly tricycle gear. It's still going to have the tail wheel like a FireStar 2 SS. We came up with a couple, about 2.5 years ago.
Right. Leave the tail wheel
I'm
on.
going to leave the tail wheel there and make it where it's, you know, you can land it as a tail dragger.
Cool.
And,
I like the
come
fact
up
that it
on-
kind of goes both ways.
Yeah, come up on the nose wheel and taxi around, and I just think it's going to be a fun machine. And the FireStar 2 SS was so much fun, I couldn't resist to do the ultralight version of the FireFly.
Cool.
With the tricycle.
So
gear.
a new guy who comes along says, okay, you know, I'm a little uncertain. I don't want that tail dragger because I'm nervous about it. Well, it's back there anyway, so he can learn it.
That's right.
But he's going to learn how to fly with that. I mean, I understand nose wheel, you know, when you land kind of sideways, it wants to go the right direction, doesn't want to go the wrong
That's right,
direction.
that's right.
Things kind of work out better. And, you know, for a new pilot, the last thing we want is for them to get scared off.
That's exactly right.
So if that helps,
we do not want them scared
Great.
off.
But then they could go, hey, you know what? It's got one back there.
right.
I think maybe I'll try it now that I've got a bunch of hours under my belt.
right.
And so you're going to encourage that thing.
I am. Yeah, you can. This one's not going to be convertible like the FireStar 2. FireStar 2 SS, you know, you can take the nose wheel off and actually move the wheels forward and make it a full tail dragger.
Okay.
You know, this one's not going to be convertible. It's going to be a full-time tricycle gear, but the tail wheel's back there, and with
and you can land it that way.
You can pull it back onto the tail wheel and hold the nose wheel off, and you can hold it all the way till you stop, and then just let it down on the nose wheel, or you can go ahead and put it down tricycle gear.
But coming in for approach for a landing, could you land it as a 3-point tail dragger?
3-point tail dragger landing.
Cool.
No problem.
Oh, I love the fact that it can do both, and you don't have to shift the wheels. That's fine on the
That's
FireStar when you could do that to shift the wheel, but you have to do that then. You have to do some work.
That's right.
The FireFly guys with the nose wheel, they don't have to do anything. So they could experiment, go, well, they say it's not that hard, I'm
Let's
going to try it.
Yeah.
Cool, I
right.
like that a
Yeah.
lot. And you've got aircraft you can do training for this in.
Yes.
You got 2-seaters and you can show them how it works.
Sure.
Which one would you use to train somebody to FireFly?
FireFly like that would be the FireStar 2 SS.
Okay, so basically this guy
plane side by side.
Okay, excellent. Let's talk a little bit more about the details of the airplane. You said you were going to put a little longer wing on it. Tell me
Yeah,
about that.
we're gonna extend the wing out as 2 foot per wing, so we're gonna have an extra 4 foot of wing length on there, which is quite a bit more wing area. That gives us a little more glide ratio, capability of using a little less horsepower.
Ah, okay. So what engine are you going to use of that? Engines.
Engines, there's several options for this thing. You know, there's a lot of small, you know, 28 to 35 horsepower engines out there on the market right now. They're doing good. We're planning to use the Hearth F33. That's a 28 horsepower.
A popular engine for
very
light aircraft.
popular. It's doing great. We're flying one on one of our FireFlies at the shop right now, so we're buzzing around the sky with the little F33. It's doing great. The other option is, you know, if you have an existing FireFly and you want to go tricycle gear, you know, you can use your existing 447, still fall into the ultralight category. 2702 40 horse Earth, of course, is still an option. You know.
So you said if you have one already and you want to make it a tricycle gear, you can do that.
You can. It'll have your original shorter wing on it. It'll still fly just like your FireFly always did. It'll be a completely new fuselage and gear, but the wings, tail feathers will all still work.
Now, I don't know why somebody, if they're already used to flying a tail dragger, I don't know why they'd want to mess with that.
I couldn't think
but
of that
maybe
either.
when they sell it or something,
Yeah,
it would be a
used
good
aircraft,
idea.
exactly.
So there could be a merit to that. But you said you were going to make a few changes now with covering and nose bowls and so forth. Tell us about that, Brian.
Yeah, they, you know, if you you will be able to cover the fuselage. It has sides on it, just like the FireStar. It's going to be a little easier to get in and out of than the FireFly. The FireFly has a bar that goes from here to here. The new one is going to be cut down like the FireStar, so your seat's at the level that you can get into the plane easier.
Yeah, that would make it a little. The FireFly was.
It
wasn't hard,
little
but
bit of a
little
dive
bit
in there,
more of
that's
a.
right.
And as all of us age a bit, that gets a little harder.
So basically, we're gonna set this one up with no nose bowl, no covering on the fuselage.
No windscreen.
No windscreen.
Because you're a slow flying
It's going to be a
aircraft.
slow flying aircraft.
The 103 is
just
limited
for
to
fun.
63 miles an hour,
That's-
55 knots.
that's
So
right.
who cares? You wear a helmet if you want some
That's right.
windscreen,
That's right. Exactly.
which doesn't count into the empty weight. So how about building? Can somebody? Are you going to offer the FireFly? No, what are you going to call it first of all? The
You
nose
know, I
wheel?
haven't really decided yet on the name of it. I guess it'll be a Tri-Fly. You know, I don't know. We'll come up with something
FireFly,
pretty cool.
That's kind of nice.
Does that work?
Sort
I
of
just, made-
fits,
I
yeah.
just got that just now.
Well, that's good. Sometimes
put
the
me
best
in-
inspirations happen on video. Anyway, so you're going to call it a whatever you end up calling
Yeah,
it, but it's going to
Tricycle
be
gear FireFly. Yeah,
and it's going to be this tricycle gear like we talked about with the tail wheel.
that's right.
But you can offer it as a kit.
It's going to be, you're going to be able to get it as a kit. It'll, of course, everybody that's familiar with Kolb knows what a quick build is. That's we frame up all your wings and ailerons. You get a really square, perfect flying airplane, ready for, ready for fabric, paint, engine installation.
Which is where the
instruments.
owner, the
That's
builder,
right. The owner,
invests
the
quite a
builder
bit of
does
his
all
time.
that. So we're going to offer it as a quick build only. We're not going to do a full build kit. Of course, we'll do complete build airplanes.
And then you can, because it's a Part 103
I can
airplane,
build it all the
you
way
can
through and
fully
hand it
build
to
it.
you and put you right in it.
Right,
That's
so that
ready
sounds
to fly. Yeah, you know.
Well,
so
this
that's,
is for one of the famous airplanes of the breed here. I mean, Kolb and all the
appreciate
models that
that.
you've had over the years. How many? You got an idea how many Kolbs are flying?
I would say there's well over 8,000 aircraft out there.
So think about that. Van's Aircraft has a lot of them out there. I think they just passed 9,000.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Rand's is pretty high, but geez, Kolb is right up there with the very best of them. That's a great
We've
background.
been around for a long time.
a long time.
Yeah.
Longer than you and I, actually.
Yes.
Good old Homer Kolb who
Yep,
started
that's
the
right.
company. May he rest in peace. But,
Yes.
Okay, look, that's a lot of great information, Brian. Tell us a website that we go to. We'll put it up on the screen, make it easy for folks.
Very good. It's at www.kolbaircraft.com. KolbAircraft.com.
All right, great. I've written about most of the Kolb airplanes and many, many others. You can find all kinds of affordable aviation on ByDanJohnson.com. Thanks for joining Brian and myself here at Sun and Fun.